I'm live here tonight with...
If you can believe it, we're coming up to the 5-year anniversary of Creed Rise to Glory's original release on PlayStation VR1. And back then we were thrilled to have any boxing game at all in VR, especially one where we could get online and punch each other in the face. But times have changed. Lots of games have come out since. PlayStation VR2 is out with better visuals and controls, and other boxing games like Thrill of the Fight have entered the ring and proven to be worthy contenders for your cash. So how does this new, enhanced version of Creed Rise to Glory hold up today?
It's a lot of work to block those. Start dodging.
Since Championship Edition is technically a remaster of the 2018 original with a few added bells and whistles, let's first take a look at my original review of Creed Rise to Glory on PSVR1 to see what's changed. Rise to Glory's single-player campaign. This was like 5 years ago. Why do I sound like that? Sorry, let's keep moving. It lets you play as Adonis Hollywood Creed, training and working your way from back alley gyms to sold-out arenas, fighting progressively better boxers. The campaign this time around is split into two separate stories, the original Rise to Glory and a new Legacy campaign. Neither one feels terribly epic, and both are pretty short-lived. You can knock them both out in less than 2 hours, but they are fun. Sometimes you'll be fighting in a back alley with a bouncer, and sometimes you'll be fighting for the championship belt. It's all the same though. You train, you fight, you train, you fight, you train, you fight.
I don't see anyone bowing out early.
But by the end of my very first round, Creed had me doing something that no other boxing game before it ever made me do, which was asking a whole lot of questions. From simple control issues like, why can't I back up and block simultaneously? Or why am I click turning in a boxing ring instead of strafing or circling my opponent? You know, it's funny, sometimes I forget the ridiculous control schemes that we were stuck with on PSVR1, and Creed had one of the worst. They made you do this weird California Raisins dance to move around the ring, and thankfully all of that is gone in Championship Edition. I mean, unless you really enjoyed it, the option's there. You can now float like a butterfly simply using the analog stick for smooth turning and full locomotion, and it makes all the difference in the world. I found myself using far more of the ring this time around and giving my boxers space to recover stamina when necessary, and still guarding my face as I retreat, making for a far more natural experience.
Hell yeah!
To more logical frustrations like, as someone trained in the sport, why does my stamina bar completely drain after throwing just a few punches, and recharge only when standing completely still? These issues led to some of the strangest boxing matches I've ever seen, but once you've grown accustomed to all of Creed's unusual design quirks, it's time to start having fun. To I'm sure a lot of people's dismay, the stamina system does make a return in Championship Edition. It's not as intrusive here as it once was though, and being able to turn it off in the new endurance mode is nice, but that's just one mode. Not being able to turn it off in the campaign, and especially in online multiplayer, is a total oversight. It feels weird that I have to still play by Creed's rules when I fight with my friends. Every fight is preceded by a training montage minigame at your local gym, which you can also use at your leisure to practice and take a crack at global leaderboards. And from there, it's on to the actual fight, to throw down against your next opponent. The training modes have returned, and there are even a few new gyms to train in this time around. But despite the new locales, it is all pretty much the same. I think I appreciated the training sessions more this time around though, and I enjoyed the WarioWare style insanity that switching from one workout to another brings to the table. It's rewarding getting 5 stars and being able to enter your next match with full stamina. But something that probably won't get enough credit are the options to use Creed as a fitness app, allowing you to get in there every day and decide how long you want to fight, or how many calories you want to burn. My entire upper body has been sore for days, and I love it. Some people will take issue with the lower resolution graphics, but everything from your opponents to the environments, not to mention the music and sound effects, are all infused with the same high-level quality we've come to expect from Survios at this point. The graphical upgrade on PSVR2 might cause a little bit of grumbling. Creed on PSVR1 looked pretty damn good, and this new version looks just fine, I guess. The resolution from the original has been addressed, but there's something about Championship Edition that just looks a little basic. The lighting and stylized character models, along with the fully animated crowds outside the ring, they all get the job done. But it definitely has the overall feel of something from last gen, and not a brand new game developed exclusively for the PSVR2. There's some weird animations here and there, and there's a bit of stutter when smooth turning around the ring, but it's nothing that really detracts from the game or anything you'd notice in the middle of a fight. The same goes for the haptics in the controller and headset. In the Sense controllers, they're there, but they could have been utilized so much better. And as far as the headset's concerned, it's a real disappointment. A haymaker to the head should feel intense, but here, nothing.
Don't let up.
Creed isn't without its flaws, so don't expect to drop into your first match and be fluent in its obtuse control scheme or fighting mechanics. But give it some time, learn how to play this exhilarating new game, and before you know it, you'll be out of breath, wiping the sweat from your forehead, PSVR lenses, and floor, late into the night. Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition adds a new campaign to spice things up, some new boxers, and a few new locations to fight in. But at its core, Creed is still the same arcade-style boxing game you already played on PSVR1. And if this is your first time playing Creed, you'll experience most of the same highs and a few of the lows that the rest of us experienced years ago. It's a little surprising Survios didn't try to cater to the simulation crowd and allow you to turn the stamina off completely, but the improved graphics, controls, and of course the ability to play it on PSVR2 rather than having to hook up your old PSVR1 certainly makes this version worth upgrading to. It feels a little expensive for what it is, but without any competition out there, this is still the best we've got.
He's proven his meteoric rise to glory was no fluke.